went to movies and restaurants. They went to the beach. They even went skiing. They were so happy together. One day, Paul asked Betty to marry him. "Can we have lots of kids?" she asked. "Of course," he said, "but let me teach them how to ski." They both laughed. "Do you have salted peanuts?" Joe asked. "Yes, we do," said the store manager. They're at the end of aisle 4. They're next to the potato chips. You can't miss them. Joe thanked the manager. He pushed his shopping cart down aisle 4. He saw some jars of pickles. Pickles would taste good with a ham sandwich. He put a jar in his shopping cart. He continued down the aisle. He saw packages of bread. He needed bread to make a ham sandwich. He put a loaf of bread in his cart. He got to the end of the aisle. He saw the bags of roasted peanuts. The peanuts were in their shells. Unsalted peanuts were in the bags with the blue label. Salted peanuts were in the bags with the red label. All the bags were the same price. He put a bag of salted peanuts in his cart. Salted peanuts are not as healthy as unsalted peanuts, but salted peanuts taste a lot better. He went to aisle 5. That was the aisle with sliced ham. He put a package of sliced ham into his cart. He went up front to the cashier. He gave the cashier $20 and got his change. He couldn't wait to get home. He was hungry for peanuts, pickles, and a ham sandwich. "When will you teach me how to swim?" she asked. "I am afraid of drowning. I am afraid of deep water. I am afraid of going on boats. I am afraid of flying in planes over the ocean. I want to learn how to swim." "You don't need to learn how to swim," her husband said. "All you need to learn is how to float. Floating is so easy. It's especially easy for women because women have more fat than men. Let me give you a quick lesson. To float, lie on your back. Look up at the sky. Spread your arms and legs. Breathe normally. That's it." "Yes, that sounds easy," she said, "but I want to learn how to swim. Swimming is good exercise. Swimming will help me lose weight. Floating will not help me lose weight. If I float for a day, I won't lose any weight at all." "Okay," he said, "I will teach you how to swim this weekend. It will take only a couple of hours. By Saturday night, you will be able to swim like a fish." Ed was riding his bicycle. A dog started chasing him. He yelled at the dog. Then he tried to kick the dog. He lost his balance. He fell off his bike. His head hit the curb. A neighbor saw him fall. She dialed 911. An ambulance arrived. It took Ed to the emergency room. But it was too late. The doctors could not save him. Ed died. Ed was the son of the governor of Texas. The governor and his wife were very sad. The governor didn't want other children to die. He didn't want other parents to suffer. He didn't want them to lose their children. He talked to the state lawmakers. He asked them to pass a new law to protect children. The lawmakers agreed. They were parents too. They passed a new law to protect children. The governor signed the new law. The new law was a helmet law. Children had to wear a helmet when they rode a bike or a sled or a horse. They had to wear a helmet when they snowboarded or skateboarded. Texas is now a safe state for children, said the governor. Maybe we're safe, said one boy, but we're not happy. Helmets suck. What time does the football game start? John asked. It starts at 3 o'clock. What time are you coming over here? Mark asked. John said he would be there at 2 o'clock. Then he said goodbye and hung up the phone. He had to go to the post office to mail a birthday card. His daughter's birthday was next week. The birthday card showed a woman golfer with a big smile on her face. The card said, "A birthday is like a hole-in-one." Sharon was almost 25. Before she graduated from high school, she had received a golf scholarship to college. It was a 4-year scholarship. It paid for all her college expenses. She was on the golf team for 4 years. After college, Sharon became a professional golfer. She traveled all over the country playing golf. Once she won a tournament. She was not the best woman golfer, but she was good. She was in the top 10 every year. She usually made about $100,000 a year. She was also having fun. John was happy about his daughter's success. He was proud of his daughter. "That's my girl," he told his friends. Beth was a famous singer and a famous actress. Everyone wanted her autograph. Everyone took pictures of her. She was 26 years old. She had a great body. She was slim and pretty. She was also divorced. She had one child. His name was Charlie. He was 6 years old. A movie actor loved Beth. William was fat and old, but he was rich and smart. He asked Beth out to dinner. She went to dinner with him. They had dinner many times. Then he invited her to his private island. She took Charlie with her. They stayed on the island for almost a year. William asked Beth to marry him. They got married on his island. Then she returned to Hollywood to make a new movie. Nobody in Hollywood recognized her at first. "Do I know you?" everyone asked. They didn't recognize Beth because she had gained about 80 pounds. People said she was too fat. They said she wasn't pretty anymore. She said she didn't care. "My husband is fat and he likes me fat," she said. "If you don't like me fat, I don't care. I will go back to my island and eat all I want. I don't need Hollywood. I have a husband and a son who love me. What more could a woman want?" It was a warm spring day. It was sunny, but a storm was coming. The sky turned dark gray. Then a black funnel descended from the sky. The black funnel touched the ground. It was a tornado. A tornado is strong. A tornado picks up cars and trucks. They fly through the air like pieces of paper. The tornado siren blasted. It warned everyone in town to take cover. Everyone gathered their kids and pets. They went downstairs into their basements. A tornado can destroy a house, but the basement is safe. Sometimes a tornado hits a town without warning. A year ago, a man was sitting in his bathtub. He was enjoying his bath. He heard a loud sound. He thought a train was crashing into his house. But he did not live near the railroad tracks. It wasn't a train. A tornado struck his house without warning. The tornado destroyed the man's whole house. Suddenly, he was taking his bath outside. The roof and walls of his house were gone. His wife came home. At first, she cried because her house was gone. Then she laughed. Her husband looked so funny sitting in the tub. He couldn't leave the tub because he had no clothes. He didn't want his neighbors to see him without clothes. His wife had a towel in the trunk of her car. She gave him a towel, and he climbed out of the tub. They were both happy that he was alive. About 10 customers were in the small restaurant. It was late at night. Jenny and David were sitting at a table in the corner. They both worked for the same supermarket. They liked their jobs. They worked together, and they had fun together. They went to church together. They planned to get married and live together. They were saving their money for a house. They wanted to buy a new house in a nice neighborhood. But they needed a down payment. They needed $30,000 for a down payment. They had saved $16,000. They needed $14,000 more. Then they would buy their new house. They were eating their soup. 2 men walked into the restaurant. They shouted at someone. Then they pulled out guns. They started shooting. David pushed Jenny to the floor. He covered her with his body. The gunmen stopped shooting and walked out of the restaurant. The restaurant was quiet. Someone started to cry. 2 people were dead. One was the cashier. The other was the manager. The mountains are beautiful, but they can be dangerous. Yesterday, a mountain lion attacked a woman. The woman was walking on a trail with her friend. The trail was in the mountains. Donna was walking in front of Linda. They were walking uphill on the mountain trail. The mountain lion jumped out of the bushes. It attacked Donna. Donna screamed. Linda hit the mountain lion with her backpack. The mountain lion grabbed the backpack with its mouth. The mountain lion grabbed the backpack with its mouth. It ran into the bushes with the backpack. Both women sat on the trail. They were crying. Donna's nose and ears were bleeding. About 5 minutes later, a man walked up. He asked them what happened. He had a cell phone. He dialed 911, but his cell phone did not work in the mountains. He said he would get help. He ran back down the trail. Donna was afraid to stay in the mountains. So was Linda. They got up and slowly walked down the trail. They held hands. They did not say a word. They kept looking around and behind them. They were so afraid. They jumped when they heard a strange sound. Was the mountain lion following them? The man set the woman on fire. She was a dancer in a nightclub. The man came to the nightclub once a month. He asked the woman for her phone number. She said no. "I don't even know you," she said. "Why would I give you my phone number?" He told her that he was in love with her. She told him that he was crazy. How could he be in love with her? He didn't even know her. He didn't know anything about her. He finished his drink and paid for it. He left the nightclub. He sat in his car in the parking lot. She was glad that he left. Later, she went outside to smoke a cigarette. The man got out of his car. She did not see him or hear him. He poured gasoline on her and threw a match on her. She was on fire. She started screaming. She ran into the nightclub. The manager put the fire out with his jacket, but her face and hands were badly burnt. No one would ever ask her for her phone number again. George owned a house near the woods. He had 3 neighbors. They all had big, beautiful houses. They loved their small neighborhood because it was near the woods. It was not near traffic, noise, or the city. Many birds and other animals lived in the woods. One day, George drove home in a water truck. A water truck holds a lot of water. George thought the water truck would save the houses from fires. The water truck held 2,000 gallons of water. It cost $50,000. That's a lot of money, but if it saves our homes from a fire, it's worth every penny, he told his neighbors. They all agreed with him. 1 year later, the woods were on fire. George sprayed water on all the houses. They could not catch on fire because they were so wet. George saved all the houses with his water truck. His neighbors said he was brave. They thanked him for saving their homes. They had a big party for George. They gave him a red fireman.